In this video I will continue the part 1, which was about basic maintenance and repairs for this legendary Salora 6600. In this second video I will focus on the cassette deck repair and reassembling everything. Most typical problem is weird acting during the rewind, or when play is pressed, music plays only few seconds until the device stops. Reason is simply old stretched belts, but replacing the belts is everything but simple, because deck unit is quite compact and multi-layered and fitted tightly inside the device as an own separate unit. Everything starts by removing the hats and front panel. Next, the connectors and cables. There's a lot and you need to cut zip ties to free some of the cables. I recommend to take lots of pictures to ease up the reassembling. You also need to move one PCB away behind the deck to get more room. And then cassette deck light wires are soldered at the PCB where rest of the light bulbs are. You can desolder these wires, or you can take the cable connector out from the other end and take whole PCB out with the cassette deck. When all the connectors are removed, few screws out from the front face and 3 more from the inside of the device. These 3 bigger screws hold this unit against the bottom of the device. Now whole unit should come out by lifting it up and back. Lift very carefully so you can spot if any cables are still connected. There is 4 belts, 2 are replaced from the front side and 2 from the back side. Let's start with the front. So open the hats and take 2 screws out from the right side so that the counterpart moves out of the way and we can access the first belt. Move parts as little as possible to prevent hats falling out from the hinges. I usually reinstall one of the screws at this point back to keep everything in place. Next, Hall sensor, which is measuring the cassette spinning. The sensor is removed and now we can replace the second belt, which goes to the collector shaft. While doing this, add new grease to this shaft. Then everything back in reverse order. Remember to install first belt to the pulley before reinstalling the Hall sensor. Then counter back and belt on the counter pulley can be bent in with small pliers. Two other belts are done from the other side. First, 2 screws out from the bottom, so now we can separate the PCBs and mechanics. First, this lever and 2 springs are detached. Then whole package is opened by removing 4 screws from the corners. Pull halves away really carefully, as little as possible to prevent any parts falling out. It's enough that there is a gap behind the flywheel so that new flat belt can be guided in. Belt needs to go around this steel lever, so I recommend to start from here. When belt is in place, halves can be reinstalled. Be careful with these 2 areas so that the plastic pin will fit inside the mounting hole and end of the spring is in place. Then, when halves are back together, second thinner belt can be installed without any tricks. Then the lever and spring system. Then the hatch damper. If hatch is working fine, this step is not necessary. But anyway, this belt can stretch and of course then it needs to be replaced. Damper is attached to the hatch with a string, and there is a flywheel and spring at the other end to make opening soft and steady. This piece is mounted with just 2 screws. String pulley comes out by pulling, and then both shafts can be pulled out so that the belt can be replaced. These shafts are really tight, so be careful when using force to prevent damaging the plastic parts. And because shaft fittings are really tight, make sure that after reassembling those pulleys will have sideways clearance so that parts can rotate freely. Then reassembling in reverse order. String goes around the pulley 3.5 rounds. Then mechanics and PCBs can be reinstalled and this deck is ready. When lifting this inside the device, make sure that cables are not left under it, and be careful when fitting counter through the front face. Otherwise, reinstalling is quite simple and unit fits quite easily to the spot. Final position is easy to verify when all the screw holes align. Then just all the screws and cables back in, and while installing everything, replace zip ties which were cut earlier. Then just light bulb, PCB and meters back in, and tuner string back in. And finally we can reinstall front panel and close the hood. Then just record player, flywheel back, dust cover back, and you're all set.